sadly for the Zoomers, the Gen Zs out there, I feel kind of bad for them because they're walking into the buzzsaw of probably the worst financial social disaster in 1,000 years. For us boomers, we're like, oh, well, we had a great 40 years, whatever. But for the Zoomers and the Millennials, though, it's a dire situation. So I would encourage the younger generations, load up on Bitcoin, because that is definitely a way to create a bulwark against what I perceive to be a growing cascade of interlocking.
Combinatorial Cascade. Max Keiser is a businessman and Bitcoin advocate who has written and spoken extensively about Bitcoin and other digital currencies' merits. Keiser has argued repeatedly in a variety of interviews and public statements that Bitcoin is superior to gold as a medium of exchange. Keiser's views on the digital currency Bitcoin and its place in the future of money are the subject of this video. We'll talk about Keiser's thoughts on El Salvador's adoption of digital currency, as well as his tips for people looking to invest in Bitcoin. Keiser, a label tender, thinks that Bitcoin has aesthetic qualities that resonate deeply with our souls and imagination, but that it can be overwhelming to some. JE also discusses the link between insanity and genius, claiming that some of the most creative people can actually be driven to madness by their openness to new ideas. He explains how Bitcoin helps him maintain focus and find calm, and he even suggests that Bitcoin is love and has the power to heal if one can see the beauty in it. He adds that, by freeing people from the control of others or the tyranny of the state, Bitcoin facilitates the process of authorship or creation. He thinks Bitcoin is a great equalizer for all people and humanity because it helps with so many problems, can be used to go anywhere in the world, and has a wealth narrative that is unaffected by inflation, giving its users a sense of ownership and independence. And just like gold, Bitcoin is scarce, divisible, transportable, durable, and scarce, but unlike gold, it can be used in programmable smart contracts and decentralized applications, as he explains.
100,000 years or more, specifically over the past 5 to 10,000 years, over the past few hundred years, obviously the gold has become the number one money because it has great attributes. If you're somebody traveling around and you need a medium of exchange in a way that it gives you the ability to travel through time, because gold's purchasing power due to its scarcity remains constant, and it allows you to travel through space because it's somewhat portable, it's divisible, it's fungible. So with gold, you have the ability to be free, to walk anywhere. I think you can go anywhere in the world. If I have gold, they'll take it. That's the great thing about gold. Flash forward to Bitcoin. Bitcoin does everything that gold and money we expect it to do, except it does it better. It does it in the digital age. It's more secure, it's more portable, everything that we talk about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin represents the long search for perfect money in that sense. And as a result, it has caused massive neurological problems in people who are incapable of handling this idea of perfect money. Again, so you have someone like a Sam Bankman-Fried who looks at the quote-unquote crypto market and becomes the biggest crook in history. And then you have somebody like a Michael Saylor or a President Bukele who looks at it and says, this is actually a way to help or engineer our lives and our economy in ways that are going to benefit everybody, right? So it has this is where we're at now with Bitcoin. It's cleaving the society. I don't like to throw in biblical references really, because it's contentious and everybody throws a fit. But nevertheless, the literature in various religions is outstanding at times. And you learn a lot from reading books like the Bible. And one of the things that Jesus talked about was the path narrows, right? People are saying, why is it getting harder and harder for me to get into heaven, Jesus? Shouldn't it be wide open and we can all just disco our way in? He's like, no, actually the path narrows. You have to, once you start a virtuous path, you have to practice your virtue and become even more virtuous. Today's virtue doesn't work tomorrow. You have to be virtuous every day. And so with Bitcoin, similarly, once you get the Bitcoin meme and once it's in your mind and it's kicking around and rearranging your brain, it doesn't stop. You don't wake up tomorrow and like, well, that Bitcoin thing was interesting, but I'm going to start crocheting now and making puppets for dogs. No, it's still working in your brain, whether you want it or not. Right. So therefore, I think we're at a point where there's no turning back, for humanity. Not to be overly dramatic, but I think that given the current state of affairs around the world, and with the fiat money machine now going into hyperbolic overdrive, and all the excesses that were brought on by fiat money, all of the, the malinvestments that are made possible through the money printers, has created a dystopian nightmare.
As a result, it's safe to say that Max Keiser is fully aware of Bitcoin's potential and advantages. He describes it as perfect money and lists its benefits, including protection from inflation, freedom from central banks, and ease of use in cross-border transactions. He also makes an analogy between Bitcoin and gold, pointing out that both are extremely rare and cannot be devalued. Bitcoin has many practical benefits as a currency, but for Max Keiser, the currency also has a deeper, even spiritual significance. He thinks the essence of Bitcoin speaks to our most primal selves because it is decentralized and democratic. Keiser sees Bitcoin as a transformative force that can heal and complete us, and his dedication to the cryptocurrency is reflected in his work. El Salvador has recognized Bitcoin as legal tender, and Keiser played a key role in establishing the regulatory framework that sets Bitcoin apart from other cryptocurrencies, and reduces the opportunity for criminal activity. Bitcoin's potential to affect positive change in people's lives and in the world at large is evident in Keiser's vision for the currency. He hopes that others will look into Bitcoin and join him in creating a better future. Leave a comment with your ideas below about Max Keiser's thoughts, and we appreciate you tuning in to Market Empire. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.